This has to stop. As we all know, the Raptors have been linked in a ton of trade reports and rumors heading into this year's trade deadline by design. The roster is constructed to facilitate trades, but a recent report came out and revealed the trade availability of RJ Barrett. And frankly, if this does go down, if what these reports are saying does come true, I would be genuinely shocked. A lot of Toronto Raptors fans would be genuinely shocked, and I'm making it known here right now. Out here on this video, I do not want to see this happen whatsoever. So we're going to break down what these reports are saying regarding this Toronto Raptors team, regarding RJ Barrett, regarding the team's plans heading into this year's trade deadline, and frankly, what it means for the organization's future in terms of their plans and what's happening going forward. Because frankly, this team has the possibility of completely shaking up the roster heading into the deadline. We know this. We've heard it talked about a ton, and doesn't seem like Masai Ujiri's pulling back any punches. So we'll dive into all of that in this video. But of course, guys, if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with this Toronto Raptors team, and you're part of the 67% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because we're delivering daily Toronto Raptors coverage on everything happening with this team, and don't want you guys to miss out on anything that's going on. But people have been watching this team over the course of the season. You've seen RJ Barrett's emergence as one of the best, more elite scorers out there at the wing in the entire NBA, especially as a young player. His ability to drive, his improved three-point shooting, and RJ Barrett's stats have been very, very good this season. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 35% from the three-point line, shooting 44% on corner threes, and the guy is just 24 years old. He's young. He's having his first opportunity to really blossom out there on the stage this season with the Toronto Raptors, and he's a homegrown talent. He's a homegrown hero, and he's bought in. He does the right things. He plays the right way. RJ Barrett has just been everything you could ask for, everything you could hope for, with maybe exception a little bit more focus improvement on the defensive end, with the exception that RJ Barrett has been an absolute monster. He's been an absolute beast, and frankly, I am very, very happy with him in terms of his future, in terms of everything that's going on with this team. So basically, when I read this report coming out from Eric Pincus, that I was pretty surprised and frankly a little bit fired up. So we'll show that report here right now. Essentially, the Raptors have been open for business, and injuries have led to a disappointing season. But the Raptors aren't looking for an extended stay at the bottom of the standings. The priority right now is finding a deal for Bruce Brown Jr., who the team acquired in the Pascal Siakam trade last trade deadline from the Indiana Pacers. Toronto chose to opt into Bruce Brown's contract at $23 million this year to utilize in a trade to find a deal. So this isn't a novel piece, and this is not what I'm fired up about from this report. Of course, Bruce Brown has been awesome for this team so far this season, and I've been very, very impressed with what he's been able to do for this squad. Because frankly, Bruce Brown, 9 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Those percentages continue to go up as he's getting more and more healthy. And frankly, just on the eye test, he's moving very well out there. The confidence he has handling the basketball, dribbling, and he's just an elite cutter. He's an elite sort of feel for the game. Probably one of the best, most elite feels for the game I've seen from a Toronto Raptor in recent memory. So Bruce Brown has impressed me a ton, and if he's impressing Raptors fans, he's impressing scouts on other teams. Of course, his option was picked up and designed to be traded. He's talked about his willingness to stay with the Toronto Raptors. I still expect Bruce Brown to end up getting dealt. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, again, if we can't find anything for him, if the market is just horrible, then I don't mind keeping him around, because frankly, he's been a useful player. And as Eric Pincus discussed, this team does not want to be at the bottom of the barrel for a very, very long time. So that's nothing new. That's nothing crazy. That's nothing novel if you've been staying tuned to the Raptors Digest videos regarding the situation for Bruce Brown. But what is new, what is novel, what is jumping out from this report is essentially this. The team is also believed to be shopping Chris Boucher, Kelly Olynyk, and possibly RJ Barrett in the right situation. The latter would come at a much higher price. And of course, the Chris Boucher, the Kelly Olynyk stuff, not super novel. Chris Boucher's been having a career season. 11 points per game, 4.4 rebounds. Has been awesome, knocking down threes. It makes sense given his contract situation to look to deal that away. And then Kelly Olynyk has been shooting 49% from the three-point line. As a 33-year-old big man that can space the floor for a contender, everyone would be interested in that. So it's not very novel that those guys are, being thrown out in trade discussions, expected to be dealt, all of those different things. But that name, RJ Barrett, that name on this list in terms of trade candidacy, in terms of availability, in terms of, it's possible they're shopping. Like there's a much different sort of, hey, everyone's available. And that, of course, makes sense. Masai Ujiri, if he didn't take calls on anything, even Scottie Barnes deals, if someone's willing to give us like Anthony, well, you can make debates about all these guys. I'm not saying all players are surefire guaranteed things, but you answer that phone call if the Nuggets are calling for Nikola Jokic or Giannis Antetokounmpo or any of these types of guys for whatever players out there on your roster. But shopping is a completely different term, a completely different piece of lingo. And essentially, this makes sense in the context of what's been going around, as Michael Grange essentially came out a few days ago and said, the message from league sources is that the Raptors remain fully committed to a rebuild and featuring fourth-year wing Scottie Barnes as a cornerstone. And they've seen enough from second-year Gradey Dick to convince them that the 21-year-old is a long-term fit. But after that, they don't view anyone on the roster as untouchable, which is, as you might expect, on a team with 20 games in their past 84 starts, going back to the Pascal Siakam trade so far this season. So, again, much looser language, lighter language in terms of RJ Barrett not being named as a cornerstone, but given his performance, given his production, given his level of play, and the fact that the guy that they did name is Gradey Dick, who plays the same position as RJ Barrett, you can read the tea leaves there and say, oh, okay, maybe they aren't as high as some fans are on RJ Barrett, given how well he's been performing for this team, and especially how Gradey Dick's the guy that's mentioned, and RJ Barrett isn't. So you read the tea leaves there a little bit, and then that combined with this report from Eric Pincus is very, very discouraging in terms of, I don't want to say discouraging, but a little bit worrisome in terms of the Raptors' approach and things like that. Now, I have full faith in Masai Ujiri not to do anything stupid, not to give RJ Barrett up for nothing, but I do get a little bit concerned about, hey, looking at Gradey Dick, who's had some ups and downs, and of course that's what happens with young players. RJ Barrett, when he was in his second years of his league, third year, fourth year, has ups and downs. I'm not down on Gradey Dick by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a risk. You have a guy, I'll pull up his stats again, and RJ Barrett, 22, 7, and 6. 22, 7, and 6 at 24 years old. You look at those stats, and this team is winning. That's an all-star right there. That's more than an all-star. That's a guy that is legitimately baked into the future of this organization. And I've heard a lot of chats. One of my buddies, I had a good chat with him, talking the other day. Shout out to Danny about, hey, we capture that flag. We get one of these elite forwards. Who's going to be moved to the bench on this Toronto Raptors team? Because you have in terms of our current core, you have Immanuel Quickley, you have RJ Barrett, you have Gradey Dick, you have Scottie Barnes, you have Jakob Poeltl, and then in theory you have a Cooper Flagg, you have an Ace Bailey. You have one of these guys that could be in the mix for one of these kind of top-tier roster spots. Again, it's not a guaranteed thing we're going to land Cooper Flagg, so, even just betting on that right now in terms of making a big trade with that much, that consequential of a trade doesn't rub me the right way. But, of course, Masai Ujiri's trying to plan for the future, and you say, hey, who's the odd man out? Because you're going to have to pay those guys a whole ton of money. RJ Barrett's making $30 million per year, for multiple seasons. The Raptors want flexibility. They want optionality. If they don't view him as like a starter on this team, again, I disagree with that, but that's up for debate. That's something that you want to get out there. And then just from the stuff that's been fed to the media, fed to the public, RJ Barrett seems to be a layer behind Gradey Dick, and I'm not 100% sure, 100% sold that is the perfect avenue for this Toronto Raptors team. Because, you look at the construction of this roster, you got a lot invested in Immanuel Quickley. It's going to be tough to get off of him until he ups his value or you see what's going on there at that point. RJ Barrett, of course, is a monster for this team, locked until 2027. Bruce Brown's likely to be traded. Jakob Poeltl, you're getting at a bargain of a contract there right now. And Scottie Barnes, of course, is going to be making some serious bread. And you have a lot of guys locked in. Obviously, Gradey Dick is cheaper for the next, till 2028 or 2027. Then you have that player option. So that's when you have to pay Gradey Dick. You also have Jacoby Walter out there in the lineup, who's in the wings, looking very, very solid. A very, very intriguing piece for this Raptors group. You have a lot of guys in the wing that could have some high upside. So, maybe that views the RJ Barrett as expendable, but I am not sold on that whatsoever. So let me know what you guys think about everything that's going on here with these reports, with these discussions, with this discourse. Again, I got his jersey hanging up there behind me. I do not want to see RJ Barrett traded, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you guys have the best thing as far as subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.